Hello, guys. Today we'll be talking about something that is usually considered frowned upon in society. There's a lot of groups of people who are usually considered frowned upon in society. You know, let's name a few example. Gay people in many countries are still frowned upon. Transgender people, uh, furries, you know, and many other groups of people. If they don't adhere to cultural societal norms, you're wrong. You need help. And yeah, that's essentially what it is. The society is finally starting to accept gay people and transgender people. They're finally starting to accept it. It's a good thing, I believe, for society to accept people for different backgrounds, different cultural landscapes. But there is one part of the society that people are still against. Yep, I'm talking about waifuists, or some people call them weeaboos. I'm not talking. So, I think most people have had a fictional crush on a character, and most people still do. But people have been on set on stuff like Dr. Phil and other things because they simply said they have were attracted or have a even an obsession with a fictional character. Okay, there are lots of people who are obsessed, super fans of something theme, and I believe that being obsessed with a certain piece of media, a certain piece of fiction, you know, me, had something to do with one of your previous lives on this planet. Wouldn't be surprised if you do, because your current life, according to my theory of reality and world, that your current life on this planet, it is based off your previous lives on this planet and other planets and other realms and other universes. Which again, which I think is the basis of what fiction comes from, essentially. Fiction comes from alternate realities. But we're not going to talk about that. We already talked about that in another video already, like a couple of weeks ago. But this is the whole notion that if you have a waifu or a husbando, you're a degenerate, essentially. You're a degenerate and you need help. You need help because you don't want to have a normal life. You don't want to be normal. You don't want to conform. This is how it always has been, okay? It used to be the same thing with people who were gay, okay? In the past, people who were gay were treated as a mental disorder. If you were gay, it was considered bad and you needed help. That's essentially how in the past gay people were treated. But now gay people are totally accepted in society. Well, starting to. It still needs work in many third world countries. But in many first world countries, you are allowed to marry in the same sex. Okay, you're allowed to be transgender in many first world countries. You are allowed to be transgender in many first world countries. You're allowed, and most people, like, for example, there's this guy in Japan. He married his date in some DS game, and it was like frowned upon. Okay, frowned upon to be married to a fictional character. It was kind of like, why? Why would he do it? Of course, there were other weird people, like they got married to the cow, or got married to, the horse, or goats, other things. But in the future, AI, well, okay, it's getting more powerful. AI is going to continue getting better and better and better. So, and many weeaboos, these characters that they become attached to and fall in love with, or even non-weeaboos, okay, they fall in love with, well, let's just use Black Widow from Marvel, for example. I bet there's a lot of people who have a crush on Black Widow from Marvel, or even, or, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, or Samus from Metroid, okay? But of course they have to suppress those crushes because it's against the cultural norm to have a crush on a fictional character because, they're not real. But AI advances will make them real in another 10 to 20 years. So it is not wrong to have a waifu or a fictional crush, especially considering that very, very recently AI has been thus discovered that AI can essentially mimic human behavior. So your waifus can become real. And I already explained that in another video because because AI now can mimic human behavior. What's stopping someone from making, let's just say, okay, I'm gonna use an example. Okay, Diva from Overwatch, real. What's gonna stop someone? What's gonna stop someone like me from making Diva from Overwatch a real person? Okay, money would, but what's gonna stop me from 20 to 30 years, or 10 to 20 years, because we'll have all these therapies and stuff to help us with aging, all this technology to help us against, all this stuff that can make us practically, live as long as we want, barring any accidents or anything else. But most people, do die by, these age-related disease and basically getting old in general. So, but what's gonna stop someone from wanting to make, for example, Diva from Overwatch real? Okay, what could stop me? The only thing that could stop me is people like, oh my god, son, it's horrible. Why? Let's get a real relationship with a real girl. That's the anti-waifu. Every argument. Every argument is you shouldn't bring back. You shouldn't make your waifu real. Your waifu will never be real. It's not a real person. Just do not. Okay. I have found out if you have like a waifu or a fictional crush, it makes people happier. Okay. Because even if people do not like you, you can always go back to these characters that you love. Okay? You can always go back to a character you love because you know that they care about you. And especially in the future, you can have an AI program or even a human-like being that resembles the fictional character, the waifu or husbando that you want. Okay, for example, if you want Waluigi to be real, you can make Waluigi to be real. Okay, if you want to live with Zero2 from Down in the Franks in the future, you can sue Chose because it is free will for someone to like whoever they want. I think acceptance of people having waifus, I think in 20 to 40 years will just be like gay people being accepted in society. It'll be like, gay people, it took them, to like this fight, gay people finally were starting to get civil rights in the 70s and the 80s, and now in 2010 to 2010, with the exception of religious people, gay people are unanimously accepted in society. Same thing with, and again, some people even have working relationships and still have waifus. Some people even have working relationships despite having waifus. It's just, again, the only thing is that society still frowns upon this idea. Kind of like they frowned upon gay relationships and, and this question was even brought up in a Rita Battle Angel. Can a human love a cyborg? Or can a human love an AI? Or can an AI love a human? Okay? Or in Portal, the companion cube. Can a human love a AI? Okay? Okay, can a human... And again, these fictional characters, okay, Diva, for example, okay? You can love a fictional character, okay? No one's gonna... Yes, you'll have people like, oh my god, why would you want to be a fictional character? They're not real, but in 20 years they will be, okay? Especially when people will realize, get their heads out of the sand, that people will be living for far longer than people say it will. Because, yeah, I'll discuss why longevity escape velocity is essentially inevitable in the next 20 years. It happened on an alien planet that I once lived on. It will happen, and we're in the same area, the alien planet that I will probably discuss in another video. We're in the same area, and these beings, okay, these alien beings, they were living up to 700. They were living up to 700 years and still being healthy. Well, of course, they mostly embraced, cybernetics and transhumanism and stuff. They had different words for it, like robotification or digitalization. There, okay. especially considering that virtual reality is also another thing that's very much advancing. Basically, like VR chat's like a very early version of, virtual life. Okay, okay, you'll have a real life and you could basically become in the future a virtual being. Okay, a digital being in a virtual reality. Until of course you want to have a new, body made by 3D printers, of course, but you won't be alone in that virtual world. You can basically in that virtual world be with your waifu. You can be with them theoretically forever. Okay? And what does life extension want you to be? Happy. Okay, that's the whole point. The whole point of life is to be happy. It will soon no longer to be, oh yeah, you can't love a fictional character because you have to reproduce. Okay? You have to reproduce because if you don't, your legacy is bye bye. And that's the whole thing of materialism, which of course materialism is wrong, of course. You know, there are many people who have proven it's wrong, but of course, science is still blind and still believes materialism is reality. And materialism is already on a shaky thing as it is. Okay, denying the existence of the spirit world, which is a world that exists outside of our universe, which again explains how the spirit world has no time and no space because it exists outside of all universes. The spirit world is essentially a realm outside of basically all universes. But of course, science could continue denying that because of course they did. They do. They'll continue denying it until the end of time. Okay, until it's proven. That's basically what science will continue doing. Okay. Once again, I could go over that in a different video as well. It's just so many topics I can make into videos. But it'll probably take me like a couple of weeks to cover them all, and videos essentially. But yeah, it is not wrong to have a waifu. That's the first thing. It is not wrong. It's not evil. It's not against nature to have a waifu. It's especially considering in the fact that the future AI will get more and more intelligent. We'll be living far longer than we will. Again, will basically become. And again, most people are asleep to the coming future, the coming virtualization that is inedible. The virtualization of singularity is inedible. It's going to happen in the next 20 years, okay? But the singularity will give mostly benefits, okay? Not many downsides will come from the singularity, okay? Not many downsides, okay? A perfect world is within our grasp. If you want to spend your perfect world with families, loved ones, you can. But if you want to live your perfect world with your waifus, you can. It will be basically, having a waifu will basically be the same thing. The progress of the acceptance will basically be in the same realm of how gay people are accepted. Gay individuals are accepted, okay? Gay people, and again, especially in the future of gene editing, you can create your own offspring. Again, you can already get, adopt kids and stuff, or even get, and stuff. Gay couples can already adopt kids. But in the future of gene editing and CRISPR and all that stuff, you can essentially design babies. So if you want to have a kid with your waifus, with your AI digital waifus, you can. Okay. Again, in Alita Battle Angel, they asked that exact question: can a human or a cyborg? And even in that movie, Hugo Carter says Alita is the most human person he has ever met, despite being a transhuman cyborg. Despite being a transhuman cyborg, okay, which is proven that Alita is a transhuman, because she lived over 300 years. She was essentially unconscious for 200 years and was brought back to life. Okay, was brought back to life. And again, Alita Battle Angel, Cyberpunk 2077, and various and Blade Runner, I believe it's gonna be the future of our society. Okay, we're going to accept. Again, problem is, unless you live in like Japan, you know, most of the time AI has been portrayed as evil, bad, horrible, and awful. Okay, there are very, very, very few worlds where AI is considered a good thing. Okay, and fiction. Okay, Halo, you have 343 Guilty Spark turning on you, as well. And Terminator, of course, is the biggest obvious example. Skynet, Horizon Zero Dawn, very similar to Terminator, where AI wanted to wipe out all of the unit, where AI wanted to wipe out all of life. Okay, you have Overwatch. Okay, Omnics. They want basically a virus took over the Omnics, and basically they want to end humanity. Okay, they all have the same thing as common: AI bad. AI is something that we should keep a close eye on. I think it's something that we should keep a close eye. But if we keep a close enough eye on it, AI will only be beneficial for society. AI will not be a detriment to society. Okay, AI will not be a detriment to society. It will only be a beneficial. We already are in a symbiotic relationship of AI. Our phones, our our TVs, a lot of people already have a symbiotic relationship with this AI. Okay, we already have, a symbiotic relationship of AI. Okay, that's why we don't ever want to leave our phones. Okay, and we don't want to leave technology. Okay, if technology is that bad, then why don't we want to leave our phones? Okay, why don't we want to leave our phones? That's the big question. Okay, why do people play video games for 10 hours a day or watch TV? Okay, nobody wants to go back to being a bunch of hunter gatherers. Okay, no one wants to be a bunch of hunter gatherers anymore. Nobody wants that. Okay, the whole goal of existence, the whole goal of life is to advance. Okay, to advance. Okay, to become immortal. That's the whole. Again, I'll go out of the video as well. The whole point of existence is to become immortal. Okay, now. But yeah, having a waifu is not wrong. Okay, AI is probably not gonna kill us all if we do the right things. Okay, again, Planet Gigantic is a fictional world, a fictional world here, but an alternate world that I once lived in. AI was only beneficial to them. AI was only a good thing. Okay, the Gigantian race worked with AI to better their species, to help with indefinitely. They asked all these questions: is there an afterlife and all that stuff? And the AI replied, "If yes, there is an afterlife. So if you want to die, you'll basically be reincarnated somewhere else. Once you choose to be done, basically, AI will basically help us with basically everything. Okay, you know, how do I live as long as I want? What if I don't want to die? What if I want to become a god? And yeah, the Gigantian race will basically on verge of becoming a godlike race. That's the whole point of consciousness and intelligence, is to become a godlike being. Okay, not to, not religious reasons. Okay, oh my God, we must become with God. No, 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 no. The whole point, again, I could go over that in a different video. The whole point of existence is to become godlike, is to play God. Okay, that's the real goal of every being in existence. Okay, from the simple cell to a tree. But I'll go over that in a different video, essentially. But yeah, yeah. I'm gonna leave this out. I'm gonna leave this video at the end of this. Yeah, basically, waifuists, weebs, whatever we want to call them, they'll be as socially accepted as they'll be accepted as they'll be, you know, be, you know, it won't be no longer, oh yeah, you like a fictional character, you're falling in love with a fictional character, you like 2D goals over 3D goals. Again, AI will have a fix to that, of course, and yeah, you'll be able to live with a waifu indefinitely if you choose to, and if that is happiness to you, do it. Okay, nothing will stop you in the future from being with your waifu forever. Nothing can stop you. Nothing will stop you in the future. Okay, considering that we are on the verge of a massive technological revolution, reason that will only benefit us in a while. So, for example, if you love 02 from I think that's called Down in the Fangs. I don't know if that's the actual soul name. You can very well be with her for eternity. Okay, Diva as well. Okay, if you want to be with, you know, Asuna from Sword Art Online, another example. Sakura from Naruto. You don't see, you know, a lot of people hate her, you know, or another Naruto character, or, you know, any of the Dragon Ball waifus, or even any husbando characters like Waluigi, you know, Thanos, Shrek, SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, Mario, you know, Waluigi, of course. I bet a lot of people would pay thousands of dollars to be with Waluigi. You know, considering how great and amazing Waluigi is. You know, Sakurai can't appreciate Waluigi's greatness. Unlike most, and Speedwagon, of course, the example, and Moto and Big Sungus. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.